All right, we should be sharing and recording right now. All right. So, this is going to be maybe a little bit longer video, and I guess tutorial, if you will. But it's just for me as much as it is for you. What you're seeing on my screen right now, in fact, let's go to this one right here. So, yesterday, I did a video about Microsoft Data Extensions and AI, which is an abstraction of creating LLM, AI, artificial intelligence solutions that takes away from the complexity of hard coding against different platforms like OpenAI versus Azure OpenAI versus your own, and it allows you just to do things a lot more efficiently and effectively. Um, I wanted to take it a step, and when I did, I did two samples. One was with just a chat completion, one was just embedding, but they were separate, and it was really kind of clunky just to show you some of the just how it works. Today, I wanted to take it a step further by actually pulling down something I said I was going to do quite some time ago, pulling down um, a um, a the ability to do a vector store locally rather than doing something like Azure Search AI or Azure Search or using something out there on the internet. So what I have here is Qdrant that I have locally, and as simple as, and I'm running Docker, you should know as well. And I basically pulled it down this Docker container here, and that basically sets it up to the point where I have now couple different versions. You may wonder, why do I have three versions of the same thing or seemingly the same thing? But if you look over here, you can see that the dimensions are a little bit different. So one dimension is 384, one is 1024, and one is 1536. The reason why 1536 is there is because I was doing some work with Semantic kernel, and it indicated that it needed 1536 dimensions in order to do an effective search, but didn't prove that out yet. However, it is working. So let's talk through what we're going to do today. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm a huge fan of the show called Fringe. It's not on television anymore, but I really, really loved it. Love mind-bending, sci-fi stuff like this. And this page has quite a ton of information. So picking up on what we did before, where we actually pulled in a page and did embeddings off it such that we could ask questions. And well, we didn't ask questions before. What we did was just saw that we got an embedding from it. What we're going to do today is actually do the same thing by actually pulling in this page, but we're going to put the embeddings inside a vector store. And then we're going to ask questions based on that. So we're going to do somewhat of a retrieval augmented generation. We're going to do a chat completion in the end to fix it, to get the information back. What we're going to do is, where do I want to start? Okay, let's just talk through a couple of things. Oh, yeah. So one of the things that I did, as you can see, this is basically the Docker container that's running right there based on the same thing I told you that you needed to run. And what do I want to show you? Is it over here? Nope, it's not over there. It's not that one. It is. Is it? I'll tell you what, let's just do it this way. If we come here and do Llama list, we can see here now that we have this embedded model, which I went out and find because this one here is actually 1536 dimensions. The one I was using before was this one, which is 384, and then I went ahead and used this other one here, which is 1024. But you get it performs better with lower dimensions, obviously, but you don't necessarily get the nuances of a semantic search unless you have higher dimensions. So that's one thing to consider. The next thing I want to do is actually go over to here now and talk to you about how I made it work. So which is the first one I want? I want this one here. So this one here basically pulls in, gets the URI. A couple of things to call it. The same thing you saw before, so I won't belabor it. The pieces that are different are I created a collection in Qdrant called Fringe TV Embeddings 1536 for the dimensions, and as you can see, trial and errors here by using this embedding model, then that one, and then this one is the one that really worked or performed the best. And I want you an exercise of actually asking the same questions to different embedding models, and you can definitely see the differences when you do it that way. So inside the Qdrant collection that I've created, I have the URL, I have chunks, which I have as 200 characters of the information that it is going to chunk, and it also has the index, and then I do an upsert to put it inside the collection that I created. Won't do that because it's already done, and that's what you basically saw before when you saw all three of them. In this one, actually, I can run this one for you. What I'm doing here is searching for Walternate, which is the other Walter in the parallel universe. I'm going against the same embedding model, and I am going against the uh, the quadrant, which is inside this location. And as you can see, same thing down here, doing a search. And is there anything I need to talk about here? No, this is basically just how we sort it. So you might as well just see it run. So if I come here and do new terminal and do let's make this a little bit bigger, control. Yeah. If I come here, make this move something over here. If I do it's a little bit too much in it. And that's about a dot net run. You should be searching for alternate. We can see here as well GPU spiking, but it is relatively quick on this box. But you can see it found what it's using 1536 dimensions. You can see that there. Top 5 results, partial matches allowed. It found string value alternate, double alternate. And then you can see down here a different one where it talks about this is it. Yeah, I did find it here as well too. Alternates plan Olivia as Bell, and it has and then these down here don't have it inside there, but they are semantically close enough. Um, in this guy over here, where we're actually doing the work now, we are going to do a console.readline to ask questions, and then we are going to do a chat completion afterwards. So same thing as we did in the previous one, except this one allows us to ask a question rather than having it hard coded. Same, providing the score, providing the chunk, providing the URL. Then we're going to the query that we ask in natural language, we need to also get an embedding off that, because when you're asking the question in natural language, in my case English, it needs to be vectorized. So we need to call the embedding model again, get a vector off that, such that then we can go to the embedding database, which is inside Qdrant at this location inside this collection, and then do a vector search against a vector search. And what I'm doing here as well too is I found that it was kind of dry in the response, so I created a system prompt to make it a little bit more friendlier. So let's run that one right now. New terminal, and let's move this up a little bit so because it's actually quite a bit of stuff. It's going to show you dot net run. I'm going to say, what can you tell me about Walter, Nate, and Walter? So I didn't even tell it Walter Bishop. I didn't say anything like that. But it came back, as you can see here, GPU is spiking. Found some information. You can see it talks about Walter and Peter here. A couple of information about Jared Harris, who actually played David Robert Jones, and a couple of other items. If you know the story, you know about the arc right here as well too. But we're waiting to see it come back. Still churning. It is using right now the Llama 3.1 70B parameters, and you can see it come back here. It says, let's break down the complex story together. Imagine there's a shapeshifter parallel universe, and the main character Peter discovers he's actually a replacement. The machine, meanwhile in an alternate universe, Olivia is called Fluxlivia, and all ties back to ZTF, was preparing, and so on and so forth. So let's actually ask it another question. Say, now, what can you tell me about William Bell? Okay. Actually, you know what I think I may have needed to do? I may have needed, let's see, Storage. Actually, no. So I thought that it actually was going to use what's inside memory. Literally went back out and actually found additional information because it's also looking at. So it says, let's dive into the world of fringe cast characters, fringe division. A character joins a season 4. Olivia's family member, sister, who appears to be making bigger questions. Okay. Um, it does have about Star Trek Insider, which William Bellows played by Leonard Nimoy, who's actually Spock. Let's actually do this. Now let's do exit and do another. Do this one clear and then do dot let run one more time and say what is the relation between Nina? Well, let's do September, which is an observer. I'm not saying he's an observer here, and Walter. Let's do it that way. So we can see here, talks about the bridge between both universes. It talks about a man named Donald. September appears to Walter and as the observer. So it is actually finding stuff back. And then the result right here is telling me no parallel universes. However, yeah, it pretty much gives us the information that we need about the observers right here as well too. So that's basically it. Don't want to make this too long. I want to stop here before it gets too long. But the call to action. I wonder what are you supposed to do here? Why am I doing this? So I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. One, as much as I may know something, I'd like to do it so that I can get a feel for it. So in this instance, I am trying to put myself in the shoe of someone who's building these solutions in the mindset that in my role at work, I am looking at roughly the same thing. How are people that are building these, in my case, I would call it a lowercase c copilot solutions, where you are using your own models, you're using your own orchestration, you're building it on your own platforms, and you're accessing data. So imagine if this page that I went to is something inside M365, and how would you get access to that data? How would that look like if you had to do the work of actually putting this inside your own vector store? How would that work if you had to keep that data in sync? What would that look like for security? All of these questions. So I'm doing it myself so that when I do have conversations with people, I would actually either feel the pain or understand why they did it. So that's the reason why. And I'm going to be continuing this. So, join me on the journey. Thank you.